Hi, good morning. This is Parth from Pista Solutions, and thank you for joining. We are in a webinar for NetSuite. We are going to talk about how NetSuite will resolve your business hurdles. So without much ado, I'll quickly start sharing my screen. Okay, so let's start with our presentation deck. A little bit about me before we go into our seminar and the session in depth. My name is Parth Virkud. I work with Vista Solutions as a project leader. I have been working in NetSuite as an implementation, from the implementation side for about 5 years now. I've done many implementations worldwide ranging from manufacturing, electronics, retail, distribution, and so on. And I'll be taking you through our webinar today. So today we'll be talking about NetSuite as a platform and what all it has to offer for an industry, for a small, medium-sized industry, in order to get over your everyday business hurdles. Our quick agenda for the day would be, we'll talk about the platform in itself, about some key features, areas, and business verticals that it can help. Why would NetSuite be the solution of choice, and why Vista as your solution providing partner? So let's start with NetSuite, the product platform in itself. NetSuite is essentially the ERP platform that we are talking about. This package is best fit for today's modern businesses. We call it platform as a service since it has an entire set of product features that can be offered to any company, along with the ability to extend these features through suite apps. It's just like your Play Store on Google or iTunes on your Apple devices, where you can develop applications to extend and enhance the capabilities of the platform in itself. It is highly agile and scalable. Again, this is a 100% cloud solution, cloud product offered and acquired by Oracle recently. NetSuite gives you 2 upgrades an undue advantage over most of the financial products, because essentially it is a financial product as the backbone, but it also ties down to the operational process flows, workflows of any company. That gives you an advantage over an on-prem system. Your monthly closures become very easy and can be achieved within hours with NetSuite. This is a modular product that gives you advantage to scale up in each and every business vertical. It of course has compliant reporting by business function. It is highly user-friendly and customizable. And of course, being a true cloud, all of that you see within NetSuite is 100% real-time. That gives the decision makers an advantage over the competition. Some fun facts about NetSuite. This is a rapid deployment system product. So NetSuite has its own deployment mechanism which is NetSuite 1, and we at Vista combine this with agile implementation methodology to give the best that the platform can offer to our clients. This is proven as the best platform that can be customized to your specific requirements, and that makes it tailored. This is known to reduce the total cost of ownership. So the TCO is lower with the year-on-year model that the business model that NetSuite comes up with. It is trusted by over 40,000 companies worldwide. So that makes it the most trusted and number one cloud ERP that today's businesses have as an option. It is known as the last cloud architecture. This company, NetSuite, was born in the cloud ecosystem. Of course, this software industry IPOs run on NetSuite, and it is liked by many Wall Street Journal startups as well. Some key features that we'll touch base on are financial management, CRM, inventory management, order management, e-commerce, employee management. Of course, there's a whole lot more apart from these features that NetSuite has to offer, like project management, manufacturing business suite, asset tracking, service contracts, purchase process flows, and a whole lot more. But for our webinar, we will stick to these points that you see on the screen right now, just to keep it short. So let's dive in and go point by point for all these features to check out what we have. Finance and accounting. Essentially, NetSuite is known as a 100% real-time product. This increases visibility for business owners through its automated GL impact processes. The way this works is each and every transaction within NetSuite, an operational transaction, comes up with its automated GL impact entry. So the general ledger is computed and posted automatically by NetSuite. This completely eliminates the requirement of having a different set of people, many times accountants, or the system in itself, to process transactions of the day in batches. Many transactions or many systems take resort to such batch processing for GL impacts criteria. But NetSuite, on the other hand, has completely eliminated that part and has automated it in a way that from operational and functional financial point of view, everything refers to one source of truth, that is the transaction in itself. Having said that, it has very rich functions and features when it comes to asset management, project costing, a compliant revenue recognition model, and many more features that we'll talk. When it comes to period closures, NetSuite is straightforward and intuitive. It has brought down the monthly period closure time to about 4.5 hours on an average. It supports standard accounting processes, multiple book accounting, so you can do your accounts in GAAP as well as IFRS based on your requirement. It has end-to-end audit trail features, so any deletion, any update on each and every transaction is tracked, recorded by NetSuite at any point in time. NetSuite has a feature, a module called One Word that helps you consolidate your reporting parameters like your balance sheets, your income statements, etc., by each and every subsidiary. So that lets you have multiple lines of businesses, multiple different businesses in one roof without really having you to have different ERPs or different systems in picture. So the consolidations, multi-currency features, etc., are all taken care of by NetSuite in itself. Moving on, we'll talk about CRM and what CRM has when it comes to NetSuite. Unlike most of the ERP platforms, NetSuite's CRM is actually a part of the integrated part of the ERP in itself. So there is no integration at all. Thereby, it seamlessly works hand in hand with the ERP. So instead of having two different solutions, a CRP solution and an ERP solution, NetSuite platforms, most of the NetSuite platforms have CRM and ERP working hand in hand right out of the box. That gives you great visibility for customer management. Of course, comes in loaded with features right from forecasting, quota management, incentivization. That of course gives you a 360-degree view of the customer. This of course enhances your business processes from operations, finance, and from logistics standpoint. These are some of the features that the NetSuite CRM product has to offer. It has end-to-end pipeline transactions, that is, all the pre-sales transactions from lead to order or lead to cash, if you may say so. Entire quotes management, upselling, cross-selling, marketing management, campaign record analysis. So that gives you a return on investment kind of an analysis for lead sources. You can track different lead sources, send bulk email blasts from within the platform. So you can go ahead and create nice looking email platforms templates within NetSuite, and you can go ahead and send those to thousands of your leads from within the platform, thereby tracking the click-throughs, how many people opened it, so on and so forth. Along with that, the CRM platform also has end-to-end support ticket management for customer grievances. You can go ahead and manage assignments of these tickets, escalations of these tickets, and all of that can be automated to best fit your requirements. Of course, it has a detailed knowledge base and issue management mechanism as well that can help you get more closer to your customer and get ahead of your competition. With this, we'll move on to the inventory part. So again, just like any other module that NetSuite has, inventory management also runs at par with the operations. So that keeps your accounting impacts in sync with the inventory. Makes sure the item costing is correct. It has a whole lot of features like bill of material management, back order management, assembly, drop shipping, reallocation, etc. It is a very sophisticated tool for wholesale and distribution company verticals, and also for retailers. It lets you track inventory to the last bit. That makes the entire visibility way more easy. You can go ahead and track the last bit of your serialized inventory or lot numbered inventory as to where they are in your warehouse, or who you sold it to, or who you got it from. So end-to-end tracking from within the platform. Unified through POS, retail, B2B, B2C, and online. So it unifies and streamlines all your processes in one. Of course, that helps enhance your logistics process workflows. So NetSuite comes up with another module, and a module called Advanced Inventory Management that is fully loaded with a whole lot of features. These are just a few of those features, namely lot tracking, rack management, or bin management as NetSuite calls it, shipping routes, picking tickets, packing slips, serialization that's essentially required for electronics or devices which have unique codes, or barcode scanning and generation mechanism. These are just some key features within the suite. It is fully packed with such high-end, feature-rich components that make up the inventory management tool within NetSuite. The inventory management in itself was awarded as the best practice for warehouse and distribution vertical in the year 2015. Inventory management, of course, makes it easy, gives better control, eliminates the stockout condition, and speeds up logistics. Advanced demand planning modules are also available that run on high-end computation. Just for example, they can go ahead and create a demand supply computation based on seasonal demands, etc., etc. Moving on, we'll take to the next feature, which is order management within NetSuite, and see how that would help you as an as a offering of NetSuite. So when it comes to order management, it has features where you can go ahead and track your activities based on sales representatives. They can go ahead and log into NetSuite from absolutely any device. That can be a mobile phone, a tablet, or the laptop, of course. Any device that has internet capabilities can be utilized to log into NetSuite from anywhere, and they can go ahead and capture details about the new leads that they get in touch with, or the new sales transactions. That can be quotes, that can be opportunities or sales orders, and these activities can be also tracked by their managers, which of course increases the overall visibility over the pipeline. It streamlines and unifies the offers. Of course, not to forget, it does give you 360-degree customer view. It has an omni-channel approach towards order management, which basically automates your processes so you could do more. Some key benefits that order management features within NetSuite has to offer is, of course, it makes a very rich experience for shoppers to buy when it comes to online shopping. That can be through the customer portal or through the e-commerce portal. So NetSuite has an e-commerce portal that can run your company's website from within the tool. We'll also talk about that in the next slides. And also it has something called as the customer center, where the customer can log into your NetSuite instance, place an order, record for support tickets, complaints, or for warranty claims, etc. And based on which you can go ahead and act on those transactions as and when needed. That speeds up your process flows as well. Order management within NetSuite governs the inventory allocation. So though it's a modular approach where each and every module of NetSuite has different features to offer, that still does not mean that these modules are working in silos. Order management would work with CRM, order management would work with inventory for allocating inventory, so on and so forth. And of course with accounting for all the posting entries. It completely eliminates manual efforts, increases visibility for the sales, for the warehousing team, and for, of course, the logistics team to go ahead and act to get things done faster. That takes us to e-commerce, which is what we talked about earlier. So NetSuite's e-commerce is called Suite Commerce. Suite Commerce within NetSuite, again, like I said, is a part of the platform. So this is one single system, one source of truth. There is no integration at all, so that means there's no ID team, there's no duplication of data records, and whenever an order is created through this e-commerce, Suite Commerce portal, through the website, it is basically created directly into NetSuite. So no integration means no errors, means no ID team. That means you have the same operational instance that extends to your financials, that extends to your operations, and that extends to your e-commerce website as well. Again, this is any device responsive. You can manage your customer access centers through your website as well, that enriches your customer's shopping experience through the Suite Commerce portals that NetSuite has to offer. Not to forget, this is one single system, one platform that has e-commerce and the rest of the ERP CRM processes. That makes everything real-time 100%. So the moment a customer submits his order, the moment he has made payments for his order online, that is absolutely when you get those details within your ERP, your financials get updated absolutely real-time then and there. So the management is always up to date with what is happening. It lets you have agility to keep pace with the rapid growth. Now let's move forward to employee management and that aspect, and let's see what NetSuite has in store for us. So when it comes to HRMS and employee management, NetSuite streamlines your human resource processes complete end-to-end employee record tracking with sales service management. NetSuite has an offering called employee self-service tool, which lets employees get into NetSuite, log into NetSuite, and enter their timesheets, enter their expense reports, etc. It has paycheck journals, leave management, commission computation for sales. That also has very many parameters that can be based on revenue, that can be based on profitability, quantitative sales, etc. It, of course, has purchase requisitions that can be entered by employees' job requisitions. With Suite People that has come into picture, it comes in with end-to-end features for entire HRMS. We'll talk about that in a little bit, just in brief. So this is a sample screen of a report, commissions overview report that NetSuite has. Of course, we'll go in and see the product as well, so we can get to see the real look and feel of NetSuite in some process flows. We'll talk about a couple of them in some time. So this is just a sample report that NetSuite has to offer. So in the employee management, NetSuite also has a new upcoming feature or a module called Suite People. This has come up recently, and NetSuite just announced this in its Las Vegas yearly seminar that is going on right now. It's called Suite World 17. So it has hire to retire, skill set management, time off and leave processing, job position listing, and many more such features. It's upcoming in the future releases. It's already ready and rolled out for about 300 anchor customers and should be available globally very soon. Okay, so that takes us to the product itself. Allow me to quickly go to my browser where I'll log into NetSuite. So like I said earlier, it's a 100% cloud product. So all I have to do is I have to go to netsuite.com from any browser compatible device works here. And I just have to key in my login credentials. Once I key them in, I have logged in to NetSuite as a database. Now, of course, I have many roles within NetSuite, so that lets me choose which role I want to log in. But typically, if your representatives or your people are in the organization have one or two roles or one role, it will log in directly to the dashboard, as we call it. So the dashboard in NetSuite essentially has all the key components that one would require when he logs in first. You have reminders. All of these tiles that you see are portlets. You have reminders, you have financial ratios, basic analytics where you can see expenses by period. You can change this to, by quarter, by year, in different forms you want to see it. You can have some basic graphs or pie charts as to what item is making more money for the company, some basic KPIs, recent records. This is again an accounting compliant feature where NetSuite has to keep track of end-to-end audits that every person would require on their daily basis. So that means if I am looking at a specific item today, the moment I log out and go back to my NetSuite, say the next day, it will show me the recent records that I have looked at. That makes my business processes way easier. I can have different KPIs that can, of course, give me a better understanding of what I have or what's in store for me. Everything that you see is drag and drop, so very user-friendly and easy customizable. So if I want something in some specific place, I can also go ahead and change that. This feature is not just for your dashboard. This goes all the way down to report customization also. So key components of the report, you can go ahead and customize a report to see things where they want. We'll see that as we go forward. So just to quickly show you how things work here. For example, I want to look at the report order to fulfill. That's a reminder that NetSuite is asking me to check on. That says I have about 90 orders that are ready to be fulfilled. That means when my logistics comes in today, the warehousing team has quite a lot of orders to be worked upon. So here it's going to list down all the orders that need to be shipped out today that my operations, that my logistics team has to take care of. Going back to my dashboard, I can of course have customized reminders. I can have email alerts right from the reminders instead of me having to log into NetSuite. I can have NetSuite send that across as emails or even as SMSs. That's a module that Vista has developed for email alerts and for SMS alerts, that is. For example, you have a key financial ratio for debts to total assets. If I want to learn more about it, just click here and that will show me what's my payable, what's my credit card balance, any other liabilities, what are my receivables that I'm expecting, fixed assets, etc. So that makes my ratio, debt to total asset ratio, 6.13. So I can check on what this ratio means through a trend graph as well, so that we will pull out this. This is called Suite Analytics. These features run on top of all the modules that NetSuite has to offer, and Suite Analytics would look at from an analytic point of view, and that's my financial ratio for debt to total assets. Again, as we said, we have different roles, so different roles can have different dashboards, different permissions and authorizations. For example, you can go ahead and define that an accountant should only be able to see registers, accounting registers, and not really CRM entries or not really support ticket, for example, or marketing campaigns, of course. So that's something you can define very easily. NetSuite comes out with basic roles, about 30 plus out-of-the-box roles within the suite, and each and every role has its own set of permissions and authorizations. Every role has its own dashboard. You can go ahead and customize that just the way we saw earlier. This is the release that we were talking about. This is biannual, so every 6 months it takes care of upgrading your NetSuite to the latest version. So all set of new features, enhanced features come into your instance once in every 6 months. So each and every 40,000 NetSuite companies, each and every user across each and every company has the latest NetSuite at any given point in time. So we have a couple of reports that we'll also talk about, but I think we'll go onto that after we talk about some process flows within NetSuite first. So as an example, let's talk about lead to order management and how NetSuite has tackled that within the platform. So of course we can go ahead and create a new lead. This is, you can do it manually from within NetSuite. Your representatives can log into NetSuite and thereby create a lead. You can always have a quick dashboard to create new leads. At the same time, you can create a kind of a contact us platform, contact us form on your website, and thereby creating a lead, or any email sending in specific details can create a lead, or you can also CSV import mass create bulk of leads. Let's see what we can do once we have a lead within NetSuite. My sales representatives can go into this form to create an opportunity that is for a new sales opportunity. So if they find a new lead and they think this a specific item or a specific service can be sold across to them, this is where they can come and create a new opportunity. So let's quickly take a look at this opportunity. It's called Shortwave for one of the already existing customer, Williams Electronics and Communications. So I see right here that this the status of this transaction says that a quotation has already been issued against this opportunity. So I have some features is like a social media feature where I can go ahead and follow a specific transaction. So any update happening here, any activity happening here will send me alerts. Of course, I can have reminders, email reminders, notifications on dashboards as well. But if there's a transaction in specific that you would want to follow, this is what you can also do. NetSuite has a forecasting tool that runs at par with your lead to order, which is right here. So here you would see that based on different statuses, NetSuite would determine what is the probability of sale. And the moment these probabilities are updated, you have the weighted total that takes care of your forecasted revenue. So my projected total is nothing but my transaction total, and I'd see that the weighted total is exactly 50% of my projected total. So that takes care of my forecasting revenue. So here I see in this transaction I have two items. I have a couple on hand, 7 and 4, whereas none of them is available for this particular item. And let's see what this item is about. So this has an inventory allocation mechanism like I talked about earlier, which takes care of allocating an inventory item. So though I have it on hand, which is 4 in quantity, none of them is available. That is because maybe it is already committed through another sales order to some other customer. So the quantity is 10, so I'm pretty sure the moment this gets into a sales order, I'm gonna have a back order kind of a mechanism, a situation where my logistics has to arrange for these items real quick. We'll talk about back order management and how things can be worked upon there as well in a short while. We have price levels within NetSuite. So here I see a 5% discount was offered to this customer. Of course, I can have different price levels, and sales representatives can only choose amongst the price levels that I set. Along with that, I can of course have customer specific price levels. So meaning once I get into an agreement with a specific customer, that each and every sale happening for that customer has to have 10% discount, for example, I can set that up right out of the box without any customization needed. Of course, my sales reps get an end-to-end activity management right here, so they can go ahead and create tasks. Again, the moment they see that and they see this order is coming towards us, they can create an activity task for the logistics to go ahead and procure these items, and that can send email alerts to my logistics team to go ahead and look for these items in specific. At the same time, they can go ahead and log their phone calls, their events. They can go ahead and communicate with the customer, with the client from within the platform. If there are any user notes that need to be attached here or any files that need to be updated, we can go ahead and track them, upload them within the database. That gives me a greater visibility later on when I would see their activity reports as to what my sales representatives out there are doing. So the next stage of my pre-sales would be to create or submit a quote. Of course, all the transactions are tied down to each other in such a way that things can be created from one specific transaction, while you save on time for manually importing data or manually putting in the data that you would. Here I have a quotation that I see is processed already. So let's see, this example is of a service that a company would offer to its clients. It's a consultancy fee. So a quotation for a consultancy fee where I'd go to the history. So let's see what all this has. It has a sales order already in place. So that means this was already sold to the customer. The quotation was thereby processed. And here you would see that is why the status is closed won, which means the probability is 100%. So the weighted average, the weighted total and the projected total are now exactly the same in my forecast. So that's my pending billing sales order, which was created from that particular quotation. Again, for certain services, if you need to create a sales order for the quotation, you could go ahead and create the sales order right here. Nonetheless, you can also directly go to a cash sale or an invoice based on your requirement. So if I want to say create an invoice, at the moment this is already processed, but say I wanted to go ahead and create an invoice directly against the quote. So here I can go ahead and just click on the button. That takes me to a page where it pulls out all the basic details right from the customer, the price levels, the item, the service in our case, the taxation, absolutely everything from my previous parent transaction right onto this form. So that was about the quotation. We'll check on the sales orders process. So let's go back to an example where we have inventory, so we can see inventory management along as well a little. So we'll have a couple of examples here. Say an example here, which is a sales order for some inventory items. This is pending billing. I see that means my shipment for this particular item is done. So status of this transaction becomes pending billing. This was a $550 worth sales order for an item called Canon camera. So that's a PowerShot camera for 100% sample pricing. All right. So sorry. So that was my item. I can also click through and get more details about the inventory item. Again, since everything is related to everything else, it's a relational database. So I can always click for further details. So that's my inventory item. I see $550, and let's go to history. I'd see what all has happened, if there are any contacts related to this, activities. Under fulfillments, I see that there's a purchase back-to-back order, and an item shipment. So right on the item shipment, I'll click on that. Let's see what this transaction is about. So that's my item shipment, where I see this is against the parent transaction sales order, and the camera that was shipped across. But I learned by looking at this that this is a purchase drop ship, meaning I have a back-to-back order for one of my vendors, and the vendor actually shipped it across to one of these to my client's location. So that's the sales order process back-to-back. That's how it functions back-to-back with purchase orders, where I can go ahead and generate a purchase order for my own inventory, or I can have a dropship mechanism like this one, where I have a sales order, and the shipment of that sales order, which is this transaction we are looking at, is actually created by and governed by a purchase order, which is linked right here. So I have the purchase order, and since NetSuite relates every transaction and ties them up, links them up in such a way, I have the sales order, the shipment, and the dropship purchase order linked against each other. So there you go. We have the purchase order, which was an order for this one camera directly from my vendor. So I can go back to the item that we were looking at. That's the item, the Canon PowerShot camera, and we can take a look at things here. I see it's actually available with me at my Boston location, 86 in quantity. Let's see what all vendors I have. Okay, I just have one vendor for this, which is my preferred vendor, and that's my preferred purchase price, or the agreed purchase price with this particular vendor. I can, of course, set up pricing levels, quantitative pricing, different currency pricing within the platform. So I can define discounts. By discounts, I can define quantitative pricing, so meaning if any purchase is made for 100 to 200 items, this is going to be the price, or any for more than 500, that's going to be the price, so on and so forth. And since everything relates to everything else, I have something called as the related transactions. Here I'd be able to see which all transactions are created for this particular item. So if I want to look for any specific transaction, say in this case a purchase order, which is what we saw the other way a little while ago, I can also just choose purchase orders here, and it's going to filter my list to show all the purchase orders that I have in my system. So that was my inventory item. We are talking about sales order and processing a sales order. I will also take you to another sales order, and we'll see how a regular sales order process can also be made. So we'll go to an item fulfillment transaction. So that's my item shipment, and we'll go back to the list of item shipments, and there let's refer to the item shipment made against the sales order earlier this season. All right, so there you go. This is another pick, pack, ship example where I can go ahead and have the same set of features like we said earlier. So let's take a look at this particular sales order that says it's pending billing. All right, so right here, these features actually let you go ahead and create mechanisms for scheduled billing that essentially comes into picture for service-oriented businesses where you have project-based billing. So you can also link this with the projects module, where based on your time and material, billing can be done, or based on your milestones, that billing can be done. Or like we saw right from the sales order, we can have the next bill mechanism, which computes your pricing, your schedules for the bill, and then takes you onto this invoice page to compute actually the pricing and the invoice amount that you need to key in right there. So I'll go ahead and save my invoice. If you remember during our presentation deck, we talked about the general ledger impacts that NetSuite automates, that completely eliminates the accountant's batch processing entries. So we'll see how that is managed. So I have an invoice at the moment. I have it pending approval. So maybe I would want my sales manager, or maybe my accountant, or maybe my finance, based on different parameters, the values, the quantity sold, etc., can go for an approval. And each and every transaction, like I had said earlier, does have something called as the geo impact that takes care of posting the entries. So at the moment, since it was pending approval, I have the GL entries ready, but it says it's not yet posted. So my accounts receivable is already debited, my sales and the sales taxation is already credited. At the moment, like I said, this has not been posted. That's only because my accountant or my approval mechanism has not yet happened. So let's look for an invoice which is already approved that will have us understand better how the geo impact for that works. So there you go. I have an invoice of about $338. This is open, which means that I have an invoice, but it is not paid against. So I can go and check on the GL impact right here, and I would see that this one has an posting impact already made into my accounts. So that's the kind of automation that NetSuite gets into place. Along with this, of course, you have a very solid revenue recognition module that runs, that lets you go ahead and schedule when to recognize what piece of revenue. You can go ahead and define your billing schedules or revenue recognition management platforms. So again, just a click of a button, and I can go ahead and accept payment against this particular invoice as and when the customer walks in with the payment or wires the payment to me. I can go ahead and have it routed to undeposited funds, and later on put it in my bank. That will simplify my bank reconciliation processes. Or I can straight put it into the cash in hand account right away. NetSuite also offers an end-to-end bank reconciliation function. Of course, it has all the purchase functions, all the employee-related functions, expense entries, human resources. It has commission computation, manufacturing when it comes to a detailed make-to-order scenario or a discrete manufacturing process scenario. Has all of that within the suite. We'll just take a quick look at, say, bank reconciliations. You can also reconcile automated bank statements. So you can import online banking data from some specific formats, and NetSuite automatically helps you with reconciling your bank statements, which is known to be one of the most laborious tasks that accountants have to face. So there you go. This is my reconciliation page. NetSuite can automate this through date and amount. So it looks up based on date and amount and goes ahead and automatically reconciles or clears those transactions for you. Now let's dive in deep into some of the reports. We'll talk about some reports. Let me quickly go to the dashboard. I can also navigate directly to the reports from absolutely any page that I am on. All I need to do is I can go to reports and say, let's take a look at my balance sheet. I have a balance sheet right here. That's my balance sheet again out of the box. The way NetSuite functions is you can of course go ahead and expand, collapse your report. A very intuitive analytics platform also works on top of this, so you can go ahead and have some analytics on certain reports, on sales reports, on inventory reports based on your requirements. Not to mention you can export these reports into Word, PDF, Excel, CSV, or Tableau-friendly formats as well. You can print it out from within the suite, email it to yourself, your colleagues. Also, it has an interesting feature to schedule the reports. So what you can do is you can go ahead and set up a schedule for recurrence of this particular balance sheet. So every now and then it's going to send you, or the people you choose, send the up-to-date 100% real-time report right out of the business suite into their emails. So that's my balance sheet. Again, if I want, I can dive in deep from any report. If I want to learn more about this, my checking account, that's where I'm going to click. It'll take me into all the transactions that make up that amount. And again, if I want to learn more, I'd again click on this. That takes me another level deep. So you see right from your report, the first page of the report, all the way to the transaction, you can reach in just a couple of clicks. And again, just one more click and the accountant can identify or look at the general ledger posting of that transaction. So from report to GL impact in just a couple of clicks, less than 4 clicks. We have a whole lot of reports. Apart from financials, each and every section that you go, you would see you have reports for projects, reports for time and billing, for purchase, for accounts payable, aging, registers, inventory. We can take a look at a couple of them. Say the back order report, for example, or demand planning reports, costing. Let's also take a look at another report that we were talking about earlier. So we were talking about pipelines by sales representatives, return on investment from campaigns. So each and every module within NetSuite gives you at least 10 reports out of the box. And of course, each and every report that you see can be customized to an extent based on your requirements. So here I have an inventory back order report. And the moment I see it, I can also learn about a specific item if I want. So right here, I can click on anything and that will take me to the transaction in itself to learn about what this is all. So I have a campaign return on investment analysis, again, that runs by campaign, by lead source. I have a total pipeline analysis by sales representative. So again, if I want to learn more That's my projected total, that's my weighted total, that's my about in discussion, that's about the ones that the identified decision makers are already identified, so on and so forth. So I'd see if I want to learn more about, say, Alex Wolf and see what he's doing. If I want to learn more about the weighted total of his leads, I can just click here and it's going to take me to precisely Alex Wolf's transactions and what all. Okay, so that was the quick product tour that we saw where we went ahead and saw a couple of processes. Let me quickly go back to my deck. All right. So here we are back to our presentation deck. Now comes the big question. Why NetSuite? So let's quickly take a look at some of the key areas which will help answering the question, why NetSuite? This is a solution that is easy to scale up. So it is known to be the best preferred solution for small, medium, and enterprise level customers, meaning you get into this platform for once, and up until you are an enterprise level customer, it's going to scale up, grow with you. You can, of course, have a greater visibility in your processes. That can be your order management, your inventory, your financials, absolutely any process area, given that it is all real time. You can have an end-to-end visibility on your operations. And of course, things here are future-proof. Having said earlier that NetSuite is self-upgrading. It takes care of upgrading itself time and again every 6 months. So at any point in time, you would be on the latest NetSuite database, latest NetSuite system platform. That makes sure that you are future-proof, ready for tomorrow. This here talks about how NetSuite is a good fit for all size of companies, and it has solutions fit for each and every business vertical. NetSuite as a platform is modular in nature. Thereby, you have different modules taking care of different business areas. So you have a platform especially tailored for manufacturing, a platform especially tailored for retail, for services, for financials, for CRM, and so on and so forth. So this particular solution is a best fit for different business verticals and different business sizes. Of course, it is highly secure and available throughout. This is what Gartner has to say about NetSuite. It has been tagged as the top growing financial management system globally. NetSuite grew about 45%, where some of its competitors also showed a negative growth in the year 2016. That was about the platform NetSuite. We'll talk about why Vista Solutions. We at Vista Solutions, we are preferred implementation partners of NetSuite. So we are globally placed across the United States, Canada, Dubai, and we have our global delivery centers in Mumbai and in Gujarat in India. We have a successful track record of many implementations when it comes to NetSuite and many other business areas across the globe. This is our approach. We specialize in software development, customization, consulting, or integration. We have about 200 plus employees. We have catered to different business verticals across the globe. About 100 plus successful projects on record. We specialize in ERPs, business analytics, business process management, e-commerce, CRM. So basically, Vista Solutions becomes a one-stop shop for anything IT. We'll be happy to take any questions. Please write to us or comment on our webinar so we can help you get more insights about this platform, NetSuite, and more about us, Vista Solutions. Please make note of our website, that is www.vistasolutions.com. You can write to us. If you want to talk to us about the webinar in specific, you can get in touch through feedback@vistasolutions.com, or you can reach me at parth.virkud@vistasolutions.com. So please make note of these addresses, email addresses, and our offices, which are on your screen right now. Thank you, and you'll hear more from us in the webinars to come. Good day.